69. This big, long, black pipe. Alright, what's happening people? Today's video is quite long, so please bear with me. You can skip to the parts that you are interested in, or maybe come back and watch the rest of it later. So I'm going to give you a basic rundown of what the video is about. I look over the tractor to see what it needs for getting set up for the plough. So tips and tricks for the start of ploughing. The essentials you can. Then hitching on my plough and looking it over, getting it ready. And there's some tips and tricks on how to set up your plough, and a bit of drainage in between because I ended up draining, and then straight back out to the plough eventually after I put the plough points on. So the start of this video now is Dad digging the drain in that pond I was on about earlier in one of my videos. So he's got the wee 3-ton JCB digger and he's digging it right through the middle of the pond. Because it's really level, he's got that laser sight and a staff, and that basically tells him if there's a slight angle on it for a run, so that the water runs out the pond, down the wee gully where I'm standing, and out down to the main drain, which is down towards the farm. A quick wee look around. So the 7-ton Komatsu is over there. And down at the gateway, just in the middle of the screen there's a big main drain choked and water's biling up out of there. So Dad will be sorting that another day. But please take a minute and admire the view. It's an absolutely gorgeous day today. Blue skies, small clouds, and a wet hole in the middle of my field. Bro. Going to be getting the plough on today, so I'll need to check all the tyre pressures, make sure they're all the same, well, for front and back, you know, and get the weight blocks on, go and get the plough. So right now I'm just going to check the whole tractor over, check the heights at the back, etc, and I make sure she's all ready to go. The ground's still a little bit greasy, but shouldn't be long before I'm able to get going. I think I'll just try it anyway. It should be okay, but the further across the brae I get, it might not manage, so I'll just need to stop and try again another day. But that's all very well saying that, but we'll just need to see how it goes. I've now got this ridiculous thing, so we'll see how that works for recording. I look like a right fucking knob. But it'll make it easier for myself to do things and record at the same time. So we'll see how it goes today. Alright, I've got this wee tyre pressure gauge, so I'm going to check the 2 front tyres, seeing as they're in a good bit. .5 psi. .26. So that ready to hitch up with the front weight block. Need my screwdriver because I move the arms up above the pins so that when I'm spreading slurry, the arms are above the PTO shaft. It helps just get that little bit extra height. So a screwdriver is just to help get the lunch pin out of this bit here. Same again on this side. Bang, bang, bang. Hate they things. Absolutely wreck the grass. Right, so now that that's done, need to get my measuring tape from my pocket somewhere and measure this length. Got to be both exactly the same. So up there into here, so that's 69. Of course. Right. Oh, perfect. Usually it's one out, but that's 69 on both sides. So that's the lengths, both the same. That's perfect. I'll need to free these off, they don't get used too much, so I'll just need a wee go with the Stilsons and then that'll get them moving. This one's fine. Just makes things easier to hitch up. And then ideally you want both working the same width out so that the plough's moving freely in the ground and etc. Right, so they're perfect, and the two front tyres are almost perfect. Just check this here. .5. Right, that's that one done. Yeah, of course that's all the way over there. I thought I was getting lucky here. So, I'll lightly. Right, I'll need to reverse the tractor back to get it. So, got a set of Stilsons here, so I'm gonna try and free this off. I've already sprayed it with some stuff. Basically, it's almost like WD-40, but it's not. Comes in a big metal can, and it seems to work pretty well. But it's maybe no just quite tight enough that. It's quite tight. Hammer. And we're away. You ideally want these as free as you can so that you can work them in the field if you need to. Like this is perfect, but the other side isn't. No way I can do that just yet, you know. So I'll need to try and work it enough that I can get it going easier than this. So I worked this all the way down, and then I wire brushed the threads and put some oil on it, and I've worked it out. So it's basically turning by hand now. It's as good as it's going to get at the moment. The reason this gets so bad and stiff is soil and dirt ends up in here and that chokes it, and then it gets in the threads, and then it just ends up seizing. It's a pain. So just gonna 37. Measure these now. If they start the same, it's easier just to 36. If they start the same, it's easier just to work it after that. You know, just turn that way, rather than measuring all the time. You just remember 2 turns this side, 2 turns that side. Right, I'll go put my front weight block on and then go fetch my plough, look it over and hopefully get going. So, aye. Okay, so now we got it hitched on. Now top link is as per seized, not been used for a long time. Should have checked that. I'll just do this for the now until I get it in. The only tool you'll ever need. That'll do it anyway. Right, time to get a plough. Wellies are off, it's a bit warm, but then later on I might need to come back in and put my leggings on, so I'll just brought them with me. Hello me plough, it's been a while. Right, may as well go put the bars on the end. So this weight block was built by my dad years ago. I think I was a kid when he done it. Quite sturdy. I'm pretty sure these are 40 or 45 kilos. So I've never actually added it up, but it's a fair amount of weight. Fairly keeps the nose down. So this is my plough, an old Caverland. She was all oiled up before the winter because I used it for ploughing the winter barley, and that just helps keep the rust off it. It's got the leaf springs on. We don't use shear bolts because we're quite, well, our ground's got a lot of stones, so you'd end up breaking shear bolts all the time. So these ping up and then come down. There was a set of discs on it, but the discs I got fed up with, they always jammed stones in between them and here and all sorts. But I think I'm going to put 2 discs on the back this year, because it'll make a difference to the end far, because it always falls in when there's no disc on it. It makes a nice clean cut. And the plough wasn't originally a very width, but I added this ram on. It's not a very big ram, but it does the job. And I carry about the old manual very width link, because it broke there once and you're stuffed after that. So if that's there, it's just a quick case of putting it on together again and then you're away. But it is quite handy because our soil type changes a lot and the plough starts moving in it, and it's very hard to keep it straight. So this actually means it evens it out far quicker. I actually quite like it. And then there's my top link, not my top link, front fur vary width here, and that just moves the whole plough back forward to set that width on the front. So it's an ES80 for those of you that are into ploughs, but it's a good plough, fairly like her. I wouldn't mind a 5 furrow, but that's when you're ploughing hills like that and you're trying to get going, if it's wet you're as well pulling a 4 furrow because you'd get going, but a 5 furrow you might not. Or that's what my father always says. So, and anyway, ploughs are expensive, so we'll just keep this one going for as long as we can. Not sure what's going on here. Aye, right. Now this is a front weight block one, so I'll move it down a bit so it floats when you're driving. Then I'll lock it, and that means I can use that as a spool. See, the weight block stayed there. That means I can use it as a spool for one of the many hoses at the back here. Make sure the ends are clean before you put it in. That means there's no rubbish going into your oil. Can't just quite mind how I have this, but I'm pretty sure it's down there, so that when the plough turns, it's no there's no catching. That one didn't feel right, but it's in now, so right. I'll click that in. There we go. Right, and then I'll move this and that'll twist the plough back into place. Hopefully it'll line up. If not, it'll be a pain. That's better. Still not quite right though, but right, I'll put the top link in. Plough stand goes on there, but when that's not on it, it doesn't fit right because it's a ram now. Righty-ho. A good big square washer. Keeps everything tight. There we go. Right, take this down the road, look it over. Give it a good grease. The tractor already got greased earlier, so she's all ready to go. This is just this yoke. Not like there's anything wrong with it, but you never know. As soon as you start looking over, you'll find something. So how many of you know about this little trick? When the arms are fully up, you open this wee thing, turn the speed of the up and down right down to lock, and now that means that the back is in float, so the plough will now float like this when you're driving along for a smoother ride, which makes a massive difference to when you're driving. Okay, now greasing it up. That was the land wheel grease just there. Got to grease the leaf springs too, and the front headstock ram and the headstock itself. Right, gonna get this one on now. Botman's all lined up. Quite handy, these big spanners that come on the plough just to help keep everything really tight. Big long lever on it. To because this bit moves like that, got to try and get it to the point where this is sitting square with there. So that's not square yet, but it's like got to be sitting about a centimetre or two out, if I mind right. So that's about there, maybe not. That's about it right now. So yes, a wee tighten back up again. We'll get some grease in there. Give that a wee drop. Can't give that one too much because it shoves this out, and then it hits the wrong part on this when it's turning over, and then the wheel doesn't go right down. Don't know if that's the same on anyone else's plough, but that's how my plough works. $80, $80. And well, lost a point last year, so it would be 80, so that's perfect. I always have these sitting square, must need a wee knock up, but 80, 80, and just about 80. Can't really take the measurements now, but because it's on the ground and that'll upset your measurements, but they've all got to be the same just for uniform ploughing. I'll undo that and see if it's free, just so that it's easier in the field if it's been tampered with. There we go, that's fine, so I should be able to adjust that. I should be ploughing about 8 inches or thereabouts, and 14 inches, 16 inches wide. Maybe wider than that, it'll just depend on the soil. As long as it's turning over perfect. As soon as it starts not turning over perfect, you adjust it, but it's very easy from in the cab with this. As you can see with me flipping it, this isn't caught on anything, which was a bother to start with because I didn't think about that, and ended up pulling the pipes and whatnot. But the only thing left to do is, once I get going, adjust the top link and see how things are for there. Just as I thought would happen, just as I'm about to get ready to go ploughing, Feather's away to get pipe, and he wants me to finish sorting the drain, which is no bother. Thought I would have got going today, but it doesn't look like it now. It'll be a wee while till he's back with the pipe for in here and in there, so I'll just need to see what I need to do up here and get digging. So hopefully this will dry this whole bit up. Just as well I kept the wellies and the leggings.
is when you start losing your wellies. So let's see. So he was telling me I have to clean it out, so I've got somewhere to put the pipes, and he's not bled this in yet to here, and it's to be bled in like a Y. So let's just check that that's a stone. Don't want any shit going down there. That's just a wee clump. I'm not taking much because this shaft has got woodworm, so just gonna need to be careful with it, otherwise I'll break it, and then that won't be very handy. Right, I'll let that run, well, until I see what I can do with the rest of this. Until then I'll clean this out, and that'll mean that it's ready for a pipe. I've now got this big long black pipe to shove down some of these old clay tiles. Try and unchoke them. Okay.
It's quite hard to rod these pipes with just this big long plastic hang yourself, because, well, when you're rodding tiles it catches on the next tile, whereas if you've got somebody with you, they're turning the plastic pipe and then it ends up, well, it turns the front and then it uncatches it and then it keeps going up the pipe. So it's quite hard to do this yourself. These clay tiles will have been put in years ago by hand with a shovel, and most of them still work, so whoever done it, fantastic job. There are also some stone drains that Dad estimates to be around 200 years old, some early form of drainage.
Right, I've cleared a run down there for the pipe to go in when it comes, and I'll do the same in this one after I've been asked to dig it back a wee bit further. So we'll see how this goes. You have to peel the topsoil off and put it to one side, and then the subsoil to the left, and then that keeps the good soil for the top in the right place, and that means that you're not going to be burying it, you know. Of course. There's always a knack to these things. Gotta give that a wee wiggle in there. Let's see if she works. At least she's clicking this time. Always a knack. Right. Let's see how this goes.
So that's the left hand fork pipe in. Made all level, it's all running, and now the right hand side is just to be bled now. Get the pipe in and then shovel some dirt on top of it to keep it in place. And then bleed all the pipes in place. That's the right hand one in now, and dirt's holding it all in place. Now it's just to be bled in, as in the tiles into the pipe we've put in, just like that left hand side one, to be done on the right hand side. And we'll put some big stones on top at the end here so that all of the soil doesn't go in there, and it covers the end up perfectly and saves it from getting squashed. Here's the view from the sky. Quite a lot of digging really. It was a rather large pond. No idea why there's not been a main drain put in right through the middle of it all. That's the draining basically finished. That's gonna lead the last of the drains into the pipe we put in, and I have to change the points on the plough because they are pretty worn. Then that'll mean I don't need to bother halfway through changing them. Well, not even halfway through at this worn kind of thing, you know. Bit annoying, all this soil. Should have cleaned the plough before I put it away, but just got busy with other things. Just had to quickly oil the plough up before putting it away for the winter. So, not that it's caused it any harm. It just thought it looked better. So, got my gun. Quickly whip all these off. One must have fell off last year. Right, this one that's turning is going to be a bugger. So I'm going to try and keep it tight. And that one. Never mind. Just need to get the grinder and cut that off. Right. Plenty of meat on these ones. Idiot dog. Look at that stupid ginger. Ginger! Smile, you're on camera. Okay, that's one full side done. Now for this side, as you can see, I lost the front one last year, and well, you just ended up having to change it, but it's got plenty left on it. But to keep things even, I'm just going to change it anyway, and then that means I've got one spare anyway, one spare after that. So I'll need to get this all done. It's semi-long, so I'll just give them a tighten up.
looks really good. So that should last me. Might need to give them a turn, but I don't know yet. We'll just need to see in general, you know. Right, I'll go get started, see what needs to be adjusted, and yeah, get ploughing. I almost forgot the most essential tool for going ploughing with here. Very much required because of the stones. The hammer. That fits perfectly in here. Now I'm ready. And as you can see now, Dad has now got the old big Komatsu digger out and he's shoving the soil into the holes. That's it, ready to go now. He's bled the pipes all into the new pipe that we've put in. That digger's a 7.5 tonner, I'm pretty sure. So hopefully that makes a massive difference to that hole in the middle of the field, and hopefully the barley will be blowing in the wind. Later on this year. So just going up to the top corner of this field, and I'm going to get the plough going, give it a wee look over, do some adjustments, and hopefully I'll get going in no time at all. Okay, so first run of the plough 2021. Let's be having you. It's in gear, let's get it going. Doesn't look too bad, need to lift the front fur up. As you can see, the front fur's filling in last year's end of field hole, and I'm driving doing it the new. Looks pretty good actually, but second run's when I'll find out what adjustments I need to do. For now it looks pretty good. Okay, trying to go have a wee look. Ploughing it around 15 inches. Just want to check that the plough is level. Actually looks like it's leaning ever so slightly that way. So I'll need to adjust that. Adjust it in. So to do that, need to move the ram and turn this. It's not much of an adjustment that you need to do, and hopefully that will square that off. And I'll check the front link, but looks not too bad so far. It's definitely too deep. Right, I'll need to go lengthen the top link now, but hopefully the plough will be nice and level now. See, the front fur's too high because it's going too deep. It's definitely more level now. Currently, right, about 8.5 inches, around about that, ploughing. So lengthening the top link, pushes the front fur out the ground a bit. Give it a couple of turns and see what happens. Very fine adjustments. Now reset it before you drive off, otherwise it'll make no difference at all. That's better. As you can see, they're all turning over very evenly. So, some folks say you can just, well, you can just let go of the steering wheel and it'll steer straight if it's how you've set correctly. I have to always check out the back because of stones. If you look forward for just half a second, there'll be definitely a stone stuck and it'll just ruin your ploughing. Look at that, that is absolutely beautiful soil. I'll hang on to the steering wheel going up here, as it has been, because you're going up the side of a hill, it turns you into what you've previously ploughed, so you're as well just to hang on just in case. That's beautiful stuff. Down a wee bit. Always to adjust this when you're going up and down the hills. Yeah, you've seen a trip there. Pung the fur out the ground there, eh? And see, what did I tell you? Stone. Let's see if me reversing back a wee bit there has unjammed it. It has, that's perfect. Not usually that easy. Usually. There's another one. Jeez. Nah, right. This is the reason I took the discs off. But the discs do leave a nice clean cut edge. Our dad nearly finished filling in the first hole. But see here, it'll be the stupidest, smallest stone. And it's, there you go, right, loose now. It's like the bearings away in there. No surprise after how long they've not been used, but I'll keep an eye on it because it's not unlike them to fall off. Ploughing maybe doesn't look the prettiest, but I'll sort it out later on once I get into it. Right, up you come. Every time you turn at the end, always check everything that's on your plough, just in case one piece has fell off. I learned that the hard way. Ever so slightly wider here, so I'll narrow it. Put it down. And widen it again, just to try and straighten that bit out. Looks about right. Right, let's get going. There we go, how's that looking? It's not quite straight. This is quite hard to keep straight with a slope, and every time I hit a stone it lifts it out the ground a wee bit and buggers it up. It's been a couple of times here, but the plough's turning it over pretty good. It's looking really nice. I generally try and plough around 4 mile an hour, 4.5, just depends. But as long as it's turning it over and it's nice and level, I'm happy. See, this is what made my kink in the ploughing here. Look at that stone there. There was one there too. They're just really big stones that lift the plough out the ground and move it when you're going across the side of the hill here. Look at that. That lifted 2 furs. That'll be one for the forklift. Here comes Dad to ruin my day. He's going to drive straight through the middle of my ploughing to get through the gate into the next field. I know there's no other way, and that's just the way it is. But it's going to annoy me because my ploughing is looking really nice. One fur's a bit deep, need to adjust it. I adjust it with the draft, it lifts it a wee bit. There we go, that's better. Beautiful. Just crawling away slowly. I'm going to overtake. I'm going to get into the lead here. And I'm now in the lead. Just coming up slowly, aiming for the gateway. Basically there's a big main drain in there that runs right up the field, up to the top, right the way up through the silage field up the top there. And it's choked here, and it's made this whole bit right round the bottom of that field there wet. Which isn't good, so that'll need sorted first. Yeah, look at that. Beautiful in the mirror. It's almost straight. I think I'm doing not too bad. Quick way round before I go through the dike. No! It's gonna ruin it. Basically, I have to narrow the plough. Down. Put it back to where it was. Approximately there. And no!
My kid ploughing! How dare you! At least we can tell it's level though. There's no all bumpy. Okay, now I've got one of those bigger stones. There, it's there. Just gets jammed in between the skimmer and the moldboard. That's what the big hammer's for. Well, I hope you have enjoyed today's video. It's been quite a up and down of emotions there. Wee bit of this, wee bit of that. I've eventually got to my plough. But if I didn't help with the drain, I would never have got going. That bit would be really wet. So as I get across the field, hopefully it'll dry up. But this field's a great tester for the plough because you're right next to the farm, and if anything major's wrong, I can just go back in and then I can look it over and fix it. Then the further away you get when something goes wrong, it's not ideal because you need to drive all the way back. So ideally we'd be able to fix it in field, but usually it's something that you can't fix in the field. So right, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have enjoyed, and we'll see you next time. Please leave a like and maybe a subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the little notification bell and don't miss anything. Thank you very much. Time for some amazing drone shots and some dramatic music, so I hope you all enjoy this. It'll show you how good my ploughing is. Well, I think it's alright, but that's up to you to decide. I'm pretty sure I'm doing a good job. I know there'll be some ploughing experts out there that'll know better, but this is just how I do it. So, cue the music.